You called down the thunder, well now you got it. So run, you cur. Run! Tell all the other curs the law's coming! You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Welcome to the Dynasty Defined podcast, a show discussing the most decorated program in the history of sports, the Oklahoma State Cowboys wrestling program. I'm your host, Lee Cawthorn, joined, as always, by our co-host, Daton Fix, who's back after his break for the U.S. Open. And then today, we've also got another great guest on, affectionately known as Zoe. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your full name, though.
Yeah.
So, but excited to have you on. We're going to talk a little bit about the U.S. Open and the results, and then get into Zoe's background and get to know him a bit better here as a big-time member of the Cowboy RTC and being somebody who's been extremely impactful in his time in Stillwater. So, Zoe, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Daton, coming off of the U.S. Open, obviously, you went out with an injury, unfortunately. Otherwise, great results for the Cowboy RTC. Let's talk about, how these guys performed. You've got 4 in Final X now. You had 5 guys make it to the finals of the senior level tournament, and then at the U20 level, you put 3 guys into the finals, and D. Lockett making the winning the championship to sit out to the tournament there, the challenge tournament in Ohio in a few weeks. So great results from Cowboy RTC.
Yeah, it was a great tournament for everybody. Probably the best U.S. Open for Oklahoma State since, back in the early to late 2000s. So, it's been a long time since we've had, 4-5 guys in the finals of the U.S. Open and four guys winning it. So it was a really great performance. Super proud of all those guys. They wrestled really well, and if there was a team type of title, we would have won the team title. So it's anytime you can do that, that's pretty impressive.
Without a doubt, I think one of the more impressive performances that we saw was from, he's a high school junior, but I guess upcoming senior, but he's committed to wrestle for Oklahoma State and is going to be a big part of the future of the program. Jax Forrest went out and won a lot of really high-end matches to get to the finals, and then took out a returning world team member in Seth Gross to get the spot in Final X. He'll take on Zoheir El Ourraqe there in New Jersey in June. So really massive tournament for him. And he looked great in all positions, looked strong. To go out and beat a guy like Seth Gross, you have to be technically great, and also you have to be strong, quick, all the above, right? So as somebody who's really familiar with Jax, both of you guys are obviously, but as you're familiar with him, could you talk through getting him to that point, getting him to the level where he's able to execute the way that he executed last week?
Yeah. So the things with Jax is he wrestled with instinct. So it's really hard to come and just give him to respect the game plan. It will turn to a chaos. So this is what I learned working with him. The real main things with Jax, it's to give him a purpose on the match. Say, all right, this guy's pretty good at this, so just be careful there, and then just be you. And that was the main things. And from these tournaments, it was all about take one match at a time. We were like texting back and forth, like, oh, I have this guy. All right, perfect. Let's focus on this guy. And then, oh, I have this guy next. And then, like, just each match at a time, I help him a lot to get successful. I don't think he was just thinking about, like, going up there, oh, I'm going to just win, right? He was just like, oh, gosh, I have this guy's pretty good. I have this guy's really good too. So as long as he was doing that, it was perfect. And obviously, yeah, when you make the final and then you have Seth Gross and then yeah, we talk about 2 or 3 points. Be careful. Um, and then just let's be you. You're Drax Forest, and you're pretty good at wrestling.
Without a doubt. And that's really, I mean, he just, again, I think the thing that was impressive in that match with Gross was the strength he exhibited. He was able to dig deep and um, execute when he got into a leg, when he got
Yeah,
into a position where he could score points, he scored.
yeah. This is why it's so important. Like have guys like Dayton. Dayton probably failed the whole weight class. So for Jax, it was just like, hey, if you have any question, really just talk to Dayton. He's gonna tell you right away, like, hey, this or that, right? So this is why it's so important to have like that kind of culture. Have guys who've been there, can be there, and they will help you. And it takes like a village to beat guys like that. So it was pretty cool. I warmed up with him before, and I felt it right away. He was just like crazy about like going up there and compete, almost like too high. So I was just like, it's got to be a fun match. And yeah, 30 seconds in, I think it was already 6-0 for a set, and it was just a chaos already.
Yeah.
So it was really fun.
Awesome. Joey McKenna took out Jesse Mendez, a 3-2 win there for Joey, and he'll sit in Final X awaiting the winner of the World Team Trials in a couple of weeks. For Joey coming to Stillwater, he's just been extremely consistent since he's been on the senior level. Was looking at his results, and it's really, he's made Final X a couple times. He makes it to the championship of the Open of World Team Trials. He just gets there. He hasn't quite made it over that hump though to make it onto the team. However, this weight class with a lot of guys moving up kind of clears out for him to have that opportunity, especially now that he's beaten probably his main challenger in Jesse Mendez, unless we see Andrew Alirez at trials or some of those types. I think Seth Gross is going up to 65 for trials. But I'm curious how you keep him grounded and keep him. And he's a professional, right? He's been around, but just keeping him in that zone to okay, now's my chance to really go out and finally make a team and perform at the level I expect.
Yeah, I think for Joey, it was more about give you an environment where you can believe you're the best. It's all about it. He know how to wrestle. I mean, I don't think his wrestling style changed from last year to today. He's solid guy, a lot of good skill, tough as hell. I mean, and he's just like an incredible wrestler. And I was talking to Joey maybe a year or two before he signed for the RTC like a year ago. Me and him was on a couple of trips, and you know, I just can feel like what his knee did. It was not much about wrestling. It was outside wrestling, like be in the right environments where you're the priority, like where you have a team around you who's gonna make you successful. For him, it was really like that type of deal. It was just like, okay, yeah, I need more partner. Uh, because I'm not gonna call this guy at 6 a.m. to go work out. He will probably be there already. He's that type of guy. So someone like Joey, it was just really just uh, make him surrounded by the best guys you can. Uh, Make sure he's one of the priority, and then he will be good. So that's the feeling I had with Joey.
What about you, Dayton? What's your read on Joey coming in and bringing, with him and Brian Pearsall both coming from UPenn, that is one of those rooms and environments where they have a lot of guys who have performed really, really well. What has it been like bringing that perspective in and kind of, enjoying what Joey McKenna brings to the room?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's one of the hardest workers I would say in the room. He's always doing extra. One of the last guys to leave every day. And anytime you can just have somebody like that in the room, it's going to feed off onto other people. And I think that he's just really enjoyed being in a room where a lot of people are have a common goals. Everybody in that room wants to be the best. And I think that he really feeds off of that. Just being around people like that. at UPenn, he had a couple guys. He did have Jordan Burroughs, who he was really close with. But I think being here, he has a lot of more guys around his size that he can go with. And I think that's been really beneficial for him. And he's gonna have a great opportunity at Final X to finally break through and make his first senior world team. And that's what we want Oklahoma State to be known for. We want everybody in the country to know that if you want to make world teams, you want to win national titles, world titles, you come to Stillwater and we're going to get you there. So it's just another great opportunity to do that.
Love that. So DJ Hamady made the finals and unfortunately lost in the finals there to Evan Wick. But then you had Zahid Valencia get a big win over Kyle Dake in the championship at 86 kilos to put his spot into Final X. I guess punch his ticket to Final X, which is a really, really nice advantage for him to get a win over Kyle Dake. I think he's the first guy that's beaten Dake since Burroughs did in like 2017 or something like that. And then first domestic guy. And then to be able to rest through trials and, potentially get him again and the best of three is a really nice advantage for Zahid, and also just kind of a proof point of, hey, like I came to Stillwater to seek out training from the best, and I'm going to be the best now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been working with him a whole year. Like we traveled a lot together, and I have a chance to meet him deeply and create like a good relationship with him. He's really coachable, like really easy to coach. It's pretty awesome. He's very humble, which helps a lot. And he like you say, he wants to win. He made it a statement. The first time I met him, he's like, well, if I move here and I work under David Taylor, I'm not going to lose any matches ever. That's what he told me. So I was like, okay, cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty unique. So let's do it. So we did going overseas. He looks really good all year round. Like dominated 2 or 3 tournaments we did, and just looking good all year round. And right now, I mean, a lot of people were surprised about him beating Dake. I was not really. I was. I don't want to say I was like, oh, it was a done deal. I'm not saying that, but I was not really surprised. He was feeling good and he was hungry to compete. That make a lot of difference. And we have this talk in the plan about now to his way to Olympics in 2028. And that's why we come up and we talk about. It's just like whatever you do today, whatever you feel, whatever you about to accomplish, it ain't matter. It's just an adjustments for the next day. So before we did change nothing all year before we wrestled Dake or someone else. And when we was talking about the match before Dake, it's like, hey, you go up there, you wrestle, you beat him, nice, good for you. We have to beat him another twice, 2 times probably in Final X, and then the year after maybe again. And if you lose, it's the same things. You have to make adjustments for 3 years. So this is really what it's about. You beat him, great, no big deal if you lose. Let's make an adjustments. And then from beat him, let's dominate it. So that was the main focus on really just like, we're not gonna step back any matches. If we will wrestle everybody anywhere. And I think this is how we get better. Like, all right, that's how you gotta get better. You wrestle those guys, winning or losing, you make adjustments. So I think that's his way now, and it looks to go pretty good for him. So I'm very happy and excited for him.
Definitely exciting stuff there for Zahid. And then of course Wyatt Hendrickson did Wyatt Hendrickson things. He just kind of worked through the tournament here, didn't really face a ton of challenge, and punched his ticket to Final X as well. So definitely interested to see who else goes at 125 for the U.S. at World Team Trials. I'm curious to see who his opponent might be, but I think he's really just on this level of confidence and everything else. He's been on a great ride for sure. Locked in, I think, is how a lot of people have been putting it.
Oh yeah, he's walking on the water right now.
All right. So before we've gone over a little bit on the U.S. Open, and we'll talk about D Lockett and the rest of the guys, Cody Merrill, and that'll all come up. There's a lot of great performances too. A lot of guys placed, right? Like Carter Young got his spot punched to World Team Trials, so he can go compete there. You have a lot of folks who are doing that. D Lockett's competing at Pan Am's this coming weekend, I think. So, on top of all the guys, all the other guys, Joey McKenna and Zahid and Wyatt, and right. So there's just a lot of really great things going on with the RTC, which we'll talk about a lot over the coming weeks. But Zoe, let's get to know you a little bit better here. First off, I want to give a proper introduction. You competed in France for a long time. You're a 4-time French national champion and world team member. You won a bronze medal at the 2014 Euro Games. You won a gold medal at the 2013 Mediterranean Games. You've been a really high level wrestler in your own right before coming to Stillwater in 2015, really to prepare yourself. And Daton at the time was competing on the junior level. So that brought you to Stillwater, and then that eventually turned into, hey, I'm going to stay here. And then you became a coach. You've been working with the kids club, all of that stuff. But tell us more about your journey coming up in wrestling. What got you into the sport? What was it like wrestling in France?
So in France, it's just like wrestling is very small. Like I think those USA wrestling card we have in US, they have the same concept in France, and I think like overall they have like 1,000 of them. That's it. So I think like and even less people like just compete. So sorry. So I started wrestling, like I was playing soccer a lot. I played soccer all my life, and I was just like out of control when I was young. It was just too much. So I was just like, type of kids was just running everywhere around, blah, blah, creating chaos. But short story, I was doing something stupid probably, and that old lady come up and grabbed me by the ears, and she threw me in at that time it was like a elementary school. So she threw me in this wrestling gym, and this is what I met my coach for the rest of my life. His name is Damien. So she was like, hey, this guy need help, he needs control. So she threw me on the wrestling mats and fall in love with the sports, and just really never look back and stop playing soccer and just wrestle full time. And like I said, like wrestling was so small in France, and it was just, we have to deal with other challenge. No partner, like no structure. Everything you do is by your own. Like, like you just everything is just a little bit harder, So whatever. I mean, looking my past, and I think I did the best I can for what I have. I have no regrets, and just compete as hard as I can. And and when it was time to move on, I move on. And the cool story is how much wrestling opened doors for you. That's the main thing, right? So do you remember the 2015 World Championship in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I was competing there. So I was getting ready, and someone told me, hey, you should go train and get ready and get acclimated for the World Championship in Stillwater. So I was like, oh, that's good. And he's like, yeah, John Smith is running the program, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I have these wrestling shoes with this scratch and the spider on it. Say John Smith. So I was like, oh, I don't know really who's that guy, but he must be good at wrestling and having shoes. So yeah, I flew with the team, and I trained there for a couple of weeks. And this is the day I meet Daton. And 2015, Daton and Nick Piccinini. I think Daton was getting ready for the junior world, and it was like those guys were perfect for me. 25-pounder. I was a 25-pounder. I was an extra body for them, and we just keep. I remember there was like a huge camp, the Cowboy camp. The OSU camp.
Yep.
So I remember this one. We've been practicing at that time. It was awesome. So I've been practicing with those guys, which was incredible. And at the same time, I was getting to know John and Zach Esposito. So we become really friends, and John was like, hey, you should stay. I'm like, I can't really. I got to wrestle in a couple of weeks. And it's like, well, you should come back. So he gave me his number, and I remember wrestle at the World Championship, and then me and Zach was exchanging text. And at that time, I have some obligation with my country. I have a job and stuff, so I have to get back. But John always told me, he's like, "Hey, if you're looking for a job or if you want to wrestle for me, just call me." So I was like, "All right, fine." I didn't know if he was saying that to be polite or anything, but I keep it in my head. So I remember like just competing in Japan, and I was kind of like time for me. I was like, oh, okay, I think it's time for me. I don't know. It's gonna be hard right now. It just takes was a little hard for me. And I text John and Zach. I was like, hey, 2 years ago you told me to text you or call you if I was looking for something, and I think time has come. So believe it or not, 12-hour later, I was in Tokyo, Japan. 12-hour later, I received a flight tickets in my email from John and Brandy Esposito. So I flew from Japan to Paris, get a bag, and John picked me up in Stillwater Airport, and that was in 2018. Never left since. So
Wow.
that's kind of story.
That's a great story. I mean, so then having John Smith and in Dayton kind of get you into a place where you felt like you just had to come in and be a part of it. I mean, what really drove that beyond, um, especially after after all your obligations in your country, you're from just outside of Paris, and then you come to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Was there a culture shock? Was there just a big lifestyle change for you? What was that all about?
Yeah, first of all, John sell me Stillwater like Las Vegas. So that's the first things. John's like, oh, you see, Stillwater is better than Vegas, which I believe now. But it was not really for me. It was a lot of people ask me that, which is funny. But when you love so much something like wrestling, for me, you don't really care what's going on. Like all I saw for my first 5 years, it was my apartment's wrestling room. That's it. And I was paying like 6, 7 hours on the mats every day. I didn't see anything else. And be honest, I didn't care. Uh, I was learning from John, and I was around the best athletes in the world. So, and I always understand that. I was like, wow, I'm around John, and I have Daton Fix, who is just silver medalist at the World Championship. So I have everything I need. I didn't need more than that. And I was just hungry to learn. I was like, okay, I need to learn how to coach because it's a job, right? And every day, John would just bring me everywhere. Like I was going with Dayton to duels, folk style duels. I was going to Final X. I was going everywhere and just learning. And I remember John told me one thing. He was just like, told me, he's like, the best coach, the best coaches in the world and the best guys, they are working with kids. So you have to you have to teach kids how to wrestle to understand the job. So this is how I started the kids club here. And John was always make sure I have to do that. It was like it was not about money. It was nothing about it. It was about you got to teach kids how to wrestle to be a good coach later. And it's something that stick with me. And it's something I'm still doing today. Like it's different. It's very different, but it's something I learned to enjoy. And like it was hard for me to understand that. I was spending time with Dan Fix or whatever on the mat. And then 2 hours later, I have to teach the kids 6 years old do stance in motion. And at the end, everything makes sense. And then I understand why I have to do that. So yeah, John played a big part of why I'm here today and why I stay here. I've always been close to him and he teach me everything. Everything about wrestling, about how work in US and the system and folk style and all that. So yeah, that was mainly John.
Transitioning then from competitor to coach, training partner,
Yeah.
and moving into that, I'm the one representing my country. I'm doing these things to now, I'm helping young men develop. I'm now kind of helping Dayton prepare, especially in those first 5 years in the U.S. What was that transition like, and how much did your mindset and just your personal goals change in that time?
So I remember because when Dayton was getting ready for Final X, I was still competing a little bit. I think I remember that. And I'm very close to his dad and was talking to him about it. And he kind of asked me the same things, like, "Hey, what do you think?" And I just told him, I was like, right now I'm dedicated to help. Right, this is my job, and it was keeping me in shape. I was still competing a little bit, and it was fun. Uh, but that's what I told Derek. I was like, "What? I think as soon they make the team, I'm gonna retire, so I can just help full time." You know, at that time he was not on a team yet. I was competing by myself, just went back and forth, but uh, it takes me so much time just practice with him every day and twice a day and all that. I was not thinking about myself. I was just thinking to help others guys, and I was doing kids club and all that. For me, it was just time, and I don't have any ego or anything. I was happy to help. Uh, I always see the good things. I never see like the bad part of it. I always see like, oh, this guy's getting better. Obviously, he won Final X, and I told his dad, I was like, ah, that's it, I'm done. So I text my country. I was like, hey, thank you for everything. I'm out. And they asked me why, but I was just like, well, I mean, like, I think I can be a pretty good coach one day. I was just like, I'm here, and we have guys making teams. So I was like, I'll probably I want to be a full-time coach now. So the transition was really natural, really, really natural. It was just, I don't know. It was just like here to serve, here to help. And then, oh, your time is coming, then move on. So it was really very easy for me. It was actually pretty fun.
We want to do goal rounds because there's less scramble. Shouldn't that be more reward? I think go behind is too easy. I go behind all of them. 1 point go behind, 2 points stick down. Shooting guys, half points for each stick down. That's easy. 5 for a pin. And 5 full pin. 5. You got that too. You see that on Silly Boys. All right, ready? Go! All right. Let's check quick. How many points here? I would expect a little more than that. 4. All right. Out of guy then.
So being service minded then and having this passion that you develop to see others succeed and grow, how has that led your approach to coaching the kids? Because I mean, and Dayton can attest to this better than I can, but something that we just constantly hear about you from people who are close or parents or the guys themselves is that we love Zoe. We love working with Zoe. We love getting a chance to be coached by him, and I mean that's from all over the country. People have come to kind of seek that out, making Stillwater a destination to train, which really you were I mean, obviously there's the history and John Smith and all the stuff, right? But after about 2014 or so, 2013, that 2015 Worlds, really, you were kind of the first person who came back and made it a destination, right? So I'm curious what it is that makes your approach unique and that people are seeking it out.
I think like you can ask that to a lot of other people, like you said, Dayton or D Lockets or Jax Forrest or whatever. A lot of guys, or Alex Zeringer, or all the people I work with all those years. The first thing I'm doing, it's let's say me and you have to work together. I'm gonna talk to you about everything besides wrestling. I will not talk to you about wrestling for a couple days. I just gotta try to know you, and then when I know you, I know which way I'm gonna take. Right. So this is what my main focus is. Like, you get a create relationship with people. This is the main focus. If you don't have any relationship, you can't coach anybody. That's as simple as that. Like, I took my example. Like, I will kill for my coach when I was athletes. So having this spirit, and that's what I want for my athletes. It's like, oh, my coach got to kill for me, I'm gonna kill for my coach. So you got to learn how to know people first, and then when you know your guys, then they will listen to you better, or they will trust you. They will not gonna ask many questions. So I don't know. I'm just like, I try to know people. hanging out with them, have dinner, uh, watching basketball, NFL, whatever it is, spend time with people. And when I kind of like know you, then I can say like, oh, I think you should do this maybe. And oh yeah, oh, see, it looks good. Uh, and slowly create a bound, and then after that, people trust you, and it makes everything easier. It's and also like try to remind people is like I'm really here just to help you. Like my salary or nothing's gonna change for me at the end of the day. I'm here to help you, and if you need me for anything, co-wait, you need me buy a grocery store, whatever you need me, I'm here for it. It can be wrestling, it can be outside wrestling. I can help you move your house, but also can help you to have a better eye crouch, right? And I think this is the way I coach, or I won't say true. This is the way I help. Um, and I don't know. I feel like just doing that just helped me a lot personally. Uh, learn to know people and create a bound, and then yeah, I think that's the main things for me.
That's amazing. Dayton, if you could talk through some of the things that you've worked with Zoe. I mean, you've known him a lot since you were what, 17 is when he came to Stillwater. So you've been working with him a long time, and you two may know each other better than most, right? So um, could y'all talk through your relationship and how it built up and how it has turned into the one it is today?
Yeah, so I met Zoe in probably 2016, right around there, right when I was getting ready for the Junior World Championships. And I just remember, we hit it off pretty early on. He was a pretty kind of like he was talking about. He's a really easy guy to get to know and just to talk to, because it's really not when you're just talking to him, it's not all about wrestling. We talked about all kinds of different stuff. I remember kind of the first thing that we really talked about was how he was a OKC Thunder fan, and he liked, KD, Russ, Harden, the big three. He enjoyed them, so it was just really easy to get to know him. And I remember the wrestling side of it. It was perfect for me. He's a guy that wrestled for world medals, and he was my size, so he was someone that could really give me a good feel, especially a different feel than that I was feeling here in America. He had that foreigner feel where really good defensively, kind of stands a little bit taller in his stance, really good at chest wrap, flipping you through and stuff like that. So it was just someone that I could go with every day that I really benefited from. Whenever I would go up against someone that had that foreigner feel, or anytime I went overseas, I felt like I was really well prepared for just that feel. And that's something that I still feel to this day. Anytime that I go overseas, I'm really confident wrestling those guys just because I have a really good feel wrestling them. And I think that a lot of that comes from just me going with Zoe so much.
Yeah.
So he's just been someone that it really helped me a lot, especially early on in my career. Whenever I was, the Final X, those, first couple times, he was there every day with me, and we spent a lot of time in those summers. We were some of the only ones in the room, me, Zoe, and a coach or two. So it was a lot of long summer days just in the room scrapping. So it was really good, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know Zoe and coming close with him.
A lot of co-weight too.
A lot of cutting weight too. Yeah.
I remember the first big one was in Vegas when you won. You and Darren.
Yep.
Gosh, that was a tough one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was a lot over because I made weight the first day.
Yeah.
It was hard that time, and then I was probably like 12 to 15 pounds over to get down the next day. Yeah, I had to get back
That's
down.
the day you drink 7 Pedialyte.
Yeah, I drank a lot. Drank a lot, and I was a lot over. But and this just goes to show, how good of a guy Zoe was. I get done with my semifinal match, cut weight for hour and a half, get done, and I'm still like 6 pounds over. Had to do it all over again. I went back to the hotel room, rested for about an hour, got back up, and went right back to work for another hour and a half. And I get done at probably 12:30, 1 o'clock, and Zoe was with me. He was right there with me the whole time. Walked with me. I can remember walked all the way with me to the scale.
Southwest.
Weight, and I was like right on weight, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's always with me there, was right by my side the whole time. So
That was pretty
just
fun.
goes to show,
Yeah.
he's just everything you could have asked for in, a training partner and as a coach.
That weight cutting is probably where most relationships in wrestling are really formed, right? Like you guys forge and fire there in
Yeah.
the on the exercise bikes and whatever
You have
else.
like the sauna,
Mm-hmm.
you build a real relationship in wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and at the bar of the tournaments. That's
Sure.
the two. That's the two base people get very close.
Awesome. So with everything going on at Cowboy RTC, well, I guess actually let's go back to a year ago right now when there was a change of coaching and everything like that happened, and you were in this position where, okay, Cowboy Kids Club, that was you and Jasper Lockett and a few other people were kind of involved in that, and you still had your role with the RTC and everything, but then this whole new group of people comes in, and you kind of had to, I don't know, re-interview for the job, or what was that process like? How'd that work?
Man, it was crazy. So to give you a context, that morning I didn't have no clue. I have no clue what's going on, right? I'm not working for the NCAA or for the athletic department, so I have no clue what's going on. All I know is I wake up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, run to the room because I got to pick up my wrestling shoes and catch a flight to go to Turkey for the Olympic trials, the Olympic qualifier. And walking to my way, I saw all those coaches just outside, and I can tell something happened. It was it was just crazy, like I see Caldwell, Perry, all those coaches up there. I was like, whoa, something must be happening. So I say, hey, what's up, guys? Like, all Frenchy, all smiley, because I have no clue what's going on. And they were like, what? Like, you didn't hear what happened? I was like, what? No, not really. Well, we didn't get the job. David did the job, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? I was like, I didn't even open my Twitter or anything. And I was like, well, I gotta go to Turkey. My flight's at 12. They're like, you crazy? You don't go, blah, blah, blah. You don't even know if you have a job. Blah, blah. I said, maybe not, but I still have guys up there. I gotta go help. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna let my guys over there. If I was you, I would not go, blah, blah, like nobody knows who's got a job, who's now. I was like, well, I don't know, but it was pretty fun. So I pick up my shoes, take my car, call John Smith. John didn't answer, drive to the airport. Couple hours later, John called me back. Say, coach, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's been crazy around here. I was like, well, I heard that this morning. I was like, well, what was the deal? Well, this happened. This guy had the job. He tried to explain to me, blah, blah. I was like, oh, wow. And I don't know. I was feeling for the guys who didn't get the job, but I was super excited for the new crew. Like, and you can ask the other guys. I was very happy. I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, you told me I was going to coach this team. That's crazy. I was really, really excited. And I remember being on the phone with Daton Caldwell, and I was like, hey, man, it's probably the best things can happen in this program. It's super cool. And I remember just being super excited about it. And I didn't know if I have a job or not. And I'm the last problem in this whole equation. Like, nobody care about me, which is right. Nobody's bigger than this program. So if I have a job, good. If I don't, who cares? Just move on to the next thing. So I was not worried at all about my position. I'm married. I have a wife. She was kind of panicking, calling me. It's like, hey, you in Turkey? You don't know if you got to get paid next month. I was like, maybe no, maybe yes. Who cares? Right now I'm in Turkey. I got to help those guys. And then when I go home, I'll figure it out. So I was really happy, really excited for this program. When I called Coach Smith, I will just make sure to thank you. I was very thankful to John. It's like, hey, man, you changed my life, and thank you for everything. I don't know what's going to be for me the next couple of weeks, months. I just want to be thankful and just say thanks for everything. It was a fun ride. And coach was like, "Yeah, you go nowhere." That's what he keep repeating. You go nowhere. You stay here. I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe." So I don't know. Well, so and while I was in Turkey, I texted Jimmy Kennedy. I texted David Taylor. Just like first, just give him a congratulation. I think they know a little bit who I was, a little bit just my other kids and stuff. I don't think they have any plan for me really. And it was just they asked me what I was. I was like, hey, I'm in Turkey. I'm with those guys. I'll be back this day. Blah, blah. And I remember David texts me. It's like, hey, let's meet up when you come back in the country and let's have a lunch. Talk about what you want to do, what we can do. So it was a lot going on. I can tell you that. My phone was ringing a lot. A lot of kids call me like, "Hey, coach, are you staying?" I was like, "Where?" It's like, "I stay in Oklahoma." I was like, "I don't know," and doesn't really matter. I mean, like, doesn't really matter. It's just what you think. Well, we won't be around you. I was like, "Well, it's not really about me. It's about your career." And I have this conversation a lot with D. Lockett at that time when all that switch. He called me and he was kind of like a lot of confusion. And my job it was to do what I always did, look the best for him. And I grabbed him and I kind of be hard on him. I was like, you are in the best position you can be. You have probably one of the greatest ever wrestler coming to take care of her in this program with who knows what's gonna happen. And you thinking about me, or I was like, you gotta be selfish and you go nowhere. This is the place for you. This is where you should be. And this is how you're gonna be successful. And I will figure out. I mean, like, if it's not here, I'll be maybe at the kids club. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about me. But now I want you to focus on yourself and meet spend time to meet those guys. Spend time to talk to Coach David, Jimmy, Thomas Gilman, all those guys. Make sure you know them and make sure you involve and be a cowboy. So that was my biggest advice to these kids, but the other ones I was talking to. And I think like, David makes some research and reach out to other people and try to know about me. And he was like, well, I think I can work with you. And I get really along with him. Like when he came, so I remember I just buy this house. I was by myself. My wife was in Texas, and David and all those coaches will have an Airbnb. So everybody have no wives, no family. So we kind of like hanging out for a couple of days together. So we just like know each other and stuff, and we just really get along. And I was like when they asked me what I want, I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't ask for like anything. It's like, oh, I just want to help this program, whatever, in any way I can. If you need me to clean the mats, I will be happy to do that. If you want me to do this. And David was, I think, very happy about that because I didn't ask for really nothing. I was just like, whatever you think I can do, I would love to help this program. I would love to stick around. And please let me know. And David was like, well, then, yeah, we got to do something with you. So this is how it really goes.
That's amazing. I mean, that you just there's a job to be done. In spite of the confusion, in spite of the uncertainty, you're just like, I got to go to Turkey. So I'll see you guys. That definitely speaks to your principles.
Yeah, it was just like you said, right? It was just job's got to be done, and it's one match, one job at a time. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? And you'll be reminded for the good action you did. That's really matter. Just we're here to serve and help people. That's what we do. And if you do that the right way, then I think like life will give you in different ways. For me, it was just really just want to help. And I think David and Co, they understand that. It's like, oh, this guy's willing to help. I didn't ask for a car or money, or I was like, hey, you need me? I'm here. That's it. And now I'm in a real good situation. I'm very, very happy to be here. Very happy to be a Cowboy. And I mean, it's been just incredible year so far.
And more to come, I'm sure. I definitely would. I I think we probably should wrap it up on that one because it's a poetic ending.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for a lot of the things to come with Cowboy RTC and the Kids Club, and obviously what the foundation you were helping to build before, not the foundation was there.
Yeah.
Um, the the things that y'all were accomplishing to help make Stillwater and the entire state of Oklahoma really a wrestling hotbed. You two together, Dayton and Enzo, was impressive before, but now it feels like the David Taylor hire and everything has just dumped up gasoline on it. So
I, th- I think we want to be the place in the country where people want to come and wrestle. But sometimes like we looking too I want to say too high ahead, like, oh, we want to be the best college, whatever. That's the goal. If you want to be the best college, it start really low. It start on the foundation. You want the best kids come in Stillwater when they're 7, 8 years old, train here, want to watch the duels. They want to wrestle with Dayton Fix. And then that makes your process way easier. You want to build the biggest kids club in the country. So, like everybody can come here. And this is really like what's matter. Like, I'm not worried about winning the championship. I think we will pretty soon. But you want to do that for a long time. And I think our job is to build something very special and different here in Stillwater. And it starts with every age group. Like, you have kids, they should be here in Stillwater training with us. Any age group, right? And then, I mean, think about it. You have John Smith living like 6 miles away from here, and then you have like David Taylor's living another 5 miles away, So this is a destination to be. And I think this is what we should work on, like just, doing more for wrestling here.
Yeah. Well, getting the state to that's the Chad Richardson thing is get the state to be the place where great wrestlers come from. It's already true. But it's just, how do you accelerate that and get, for Dayton Fixes, right? Or Dustin Plots or, those guys that are, and then that will rise the tide of the entire, OSU will get back to the top, OU will get better.
Yeah.
And then the
But not too much better though.
Not too much, not good enough to beat us, but
Yeah.
the guys, if they were competitive.
Yeah. Actually, we send a lot of the kids club send a lot of kids in OU.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
we did our part.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's I hope Barrett Jordan starts and is really, really good down there. Not too good, but
Landon Summer, it's gonna be good too.
Yeah, for sure. So I think there's a lot of really good like I said, rising tides raise all boats, right? So and it's going to help Northern Colorado and Wyoming and Missouri and
Big
everyone
12.
else. So it's going to be fun to keep an eye on and to follow over these years. And I'm excited that you're a part of it. I think that
Thank you.
what y'all are doing is really exciting. And then on top of that, just building good young men. I think that's the other.
That's the most important things, yeah. And we have more to come. We're working on different projects. It's gonna be very exciting. So yeah, just stay tuned on social media. Some pretty cool stuff's coming.
Wonderful. Dayton, anything you want to ask or make sure we leave on here that we know about Zoe?
No, just want to thank Zoe for everything he's done for me in my career personally. So it's been great having him here, and I'm just looking forward to spending more time with him and helping right now helping others to go accomplish some goals this summer.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be even more fun now.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to pencil in some more time. We're gonna have to mix up the schedule to get you back on maybe after the challenge tournament in Ohio for the U20 guys. I have a feeling we're gonna put a lot of guys into the finals of that one. And
Absolutely.
And then that'll be a little bit before Final X, and I'm sure we'll have you on plenty of more times. So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a lot of fun. We're excited to get to know you a bit better.
And and thank you for what you're doing for this program and just wrestling in general. It's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Go Pokes.
We'll be right back.